These days there's no physical education, it's virtual. When you look at a laptop or a phone, you can't, if it's something else, definitely you'll watch. But when it comes to education, you are never interested. So you have to make that thing interesting. So the thing is, it's quality while you capture the audience, their focus, their attention. So that is one of the major challenge in today's modern world in education. And Sri Lanka, I believe, there are very, very less institutes, I would say, and schools who's doing this. They have to change from the traditional trend to the modern trend.
Wasim Imthiasz, thank you so much for joining us on the 6th episode of the Entrepreneur Vibe podcast. For those of you who don't know who Wasim Imthiasz is, Wasim Imthiasz is the co-founder and marketing director at Platinum Business Academy and is also a very prominent lecturer who has produced many Sri Lankan and World Prize winners. So Wasim, let's get straight to it. So Wasim, you started your higher education lecturing career at a prominent ACCA institute. You were doing quite well there. You became a household name real fast. Things were working fine. However, within the first couple of years, things went bad. It rather fell apart rather unexpectedly. I think people know this, but they don't know exactly what happened, Wasim. So can you take us to that story?
So basically, what happened was this institute, you all know, I actually started my career there. I started in a different place. I started very small. Then I was lecturing in a leading, I would say, number one international school in Sri Lanka. And right after that, I used to work in another institute, another ACC institute, which is a Dubai venture. And we got an offer. Me and another one of my partner got offer at this leading institute to start teaching. And in the beginning, they wanted to expand as a new strategic business unit. So they started a new business academy for O-levels and A-levels. So by that time, at the same time, we were also lecturing ACC as well. So what they wanted to do is from secondary sector, they wanted to pull in the students to the tertiary sector. So that was the main thing. That's how we joined. Then it was all going quite well. And we were handling the business academy, which means O-levels and A-levels. But after that, when I say Microsoft, I'm sure you all remember some name, right? When I say Apple, you all remember some name, Steve Jobs, obviously, okay? But the thing is, it's not only the people whom you see at the front. It's not the person who starts it. It's the people who runs the business, right? So end of the day, what happened was, it was mainly because of the management where it was not handled well. Staff started to leave. So it was going good. It was going really good. It was one of the number one institute in Sri Lanka. I would rather not mention any names here. So after that, they wanted to overexpand, diversify, and we had a vision in our business academy. We wanted to get things done like this. So we wanted, okay, fine. This is how we're going to start. We want a full-time A-level thing, crash course, etc., etc., etc. But the thing was, they had the institute, the directors, or I don't know, the CEO, everyone had a different vision. So it was not aligned with our vision. So we had to move on and we left. Then few other prominent directors, lecturers left. So obviously when it comes to an institute, okay, you would say this is the institute's name. But end of the day, the institute, it's not their name, it's the lecturer's name. Now when it comes to higher studies, education like ACCA, CIMA, SIM, end of the day you go to the lecturer's name,
For sure.
So end of the day, they go for the lecturer. So once the lecturers leave, definitely the business will fall apart. It's not the CEO, neither the director, neither the workers. It's the lecturer when it comes to an education institute. So there were a lot of miscommunications, overexpansion, so bureaucratic issues. So they had to, it's still going on, the institute is still going on. But the people who left, they are doing way better. They're doing way better. Being honest, they're doing way better. We are working with them. Okay, we are working with them. They're doing way better. So it's end of the day, the management and the relationship, the culture, everything matters in an organization. Maybe it didn't work out after a point. Once they knew they were a monopoly, they were dominating, they didn't take any action to continue and have some barriers to stop others entering the market. So maybe that's the reason they had to leave the market or downsize, and that's why they're not doing currently well. So that's the main thing what happened there.
So a bit of complacency as well.
Exactly. That was the thing what happened there. Yeah.
And then you went to co-found your own educational institute,
Yes.
Platinum Business Academy.
Yeah.
Can you take us through the story of setting the business up and then managing it for all these
fine.
years?
So basically, maybe 10 years back after my A-levels, I wanted to teach. I want to make some money, being very honest, okay? So I did some individual classes because at that time I never had good lecturers for my subject economics. Then I was going around, I was teaching for 2-3 years. I rented out my place. I don't think anyone knows this story. I rented out my place for a smaller amount, and I was doing classes for 20-30 students, that's it. Then I got a good offer at Lyceum, an leading international school. I should be grateful for them, okay? So once I joined there, we joined another institute as well. So I was teaching at Lyceum as well as doing my lecturing for undergraduate. I have taught undergraduate at a leading institute in Sri Lanka, then SIMA, ACCA. So we were teaching ACCA there. Then that particular organization was a competition for the leading institute, which had to go down, okay? So apparently what happened was they gave us an offer, can you all join us? We joined that particular big institute. I would name that institute as X. We joined X, okay, it would be easy. And it was going well. So after that, as I told you all, our vision was not aligned with them. We had a different vision, objectives are different, okay. So, and we had a feeling, okay, things are not going good. We spoke to the high authorities in the, in that institute X, but they were not ready to listen to us. So what we did was, we thought, okay, fine. When it comes to business, it is the people there. So that's the main thing you all should understand. It is not the business. Maybe after you make a brand name, it may be the business, but it is the people. So 5 of our directors there, who used to be the SBU, the people of that particular SBU, Business Academy, we moved out and we planned out and we started Platinum Business Academy. So there are 5 people. So it's me, Rimaz Isa, Rigzi Isa, Samiranis and Farlan Hussain. So people with 5 different caliber. So some of them worked in the corporate, some of them taught in school. One of them is one of the director is an engineer. He's an engineer. He's from University of Moratuwa. So basically we had to move out. We started it very slow and we took a risk, a big risk, because we rented out a building and it's not easy, right? So we started, but all is well. Everything went really well. We caught the crowd, and now I believe we are doing okay. The current situation, it was going really well. So that's how we started. We had to move out. We took the risk. Simple thing is you take the risk, and we had the power between all 5 people. Everyone was unique in different ways. Is that clear? So that's the reason we are doing good, and I hope we are doing successful. So that's how it started. We had to move out.
So let's speak a bit further about the educational industry in Sri Lanka. Right? What are some of the challenges that businesses who operate in the education industry face? What are some of the unique challenges that you faced yourself, and how have you overcome them?
Okay, I love that question. Okay. Now see, in the past, I'm sure definitely you would have studied in a school, obviously. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, obviously. How do they start?
I might not look like it, but I did.
Definitely. How do they start? Is they enter the class. Good morning, children. They do this. Good morning, children. Today I'm going to teach you, we'll say, economies of scale. They just teach. Economies of scale is when the average cost reduces. In the beginning, the student will be properly concentrating. They'll be listening. After a while, they'll start yawning and they'll get, it's normal, right? Yeah. So the first thing is you should get the students' attention. Is that clear? You can't be a teacher today in the modern world. You can't be a lecturer. You have to be a friend. Friend in the sense, there's a limit for everything.
With boundaries.
With boundaries. So the thing is, the major challenge is how to give quality education whilst, they listen to you. Not that they just memorize, parrot study. You ask petta baat kya hai, petta se petta baat kya hai. You ask petta toilet gaya, petta se baat kya hai. Petta nidagata, petta baat kya hai. I'm sure you all know Sinhalese, yes, okay? So it's like, it was a memorizing trend in the past. They were memorizing as hell. A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, I don't know, D for dog. But today the major challenge is how do you make things interesting? So I would say as Platinum Business Academy, okay, you all can say from anywhere you want, our lecturers make sure all the lectures, every individual lectures are interesting. So they make sure you get the attention of the students. Now today, if you see the trend after COVID, okay, it has shifted into a virtual education sector, right? Like these days, there's no physical education; it's virtual. You know, when you look at a laptop or a phone, you can't. If it's something else, definitely you'll watch. But when it comes to education, you are never interested. So you have to make that thing interesting. So the thing is, it's quality while you capture the audience, their focus, their attention. So that is one of the major challenge in today's modern world in education. And Sri Lanka, I believe there are very, very less institutes, I would say, and schools who's doing this. They have to change from the traditional trend to the modern trend. It's not the old sir, madam, mama, oya, like not that. Today is where you be very friendly with the students. You friendly again with boundaries. I'm repeating that again.
Yes.
You be friendly and you get their attention. You teach them how to study. You tell them to study, they're not going to study. You tell them how to study. So how to allocate your time. Do you say them not to do sports? That's crap. Don't do sports. Don't do that. Don't do this. Definitely it's crap. So you should make sure they balance their life with everything. Friends, school, sports. So that is the major challenge. Get their attention with quality education. So I would say that is the major challenge today, most even we are facing, and we are trying to improve on a daily basis.
So on that topic, let me ask you something else.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Wasim Imthiasz and the rest of the co-founders of
Yeah.
Platinum had star power. People
Yeah.
already knew you.
Yeah.
But as Platinum Business Academy, the brand itself, what were some of the initial challenges of putting your name out there? And by name, I'm not talking about your personal brand,
Okay.
but rather the business
Yeah.
out there and recruiting students and making this a go-to institute for the educational services.
Okay. Now, when it comes to local A levels, there's a good crowd. There's a really good crowd. If you all don't know, there's a very good crowd, and they have mass classes. But when it comes to London, it's quite expensive. If you all know, it's quite expensive. They charge. It's a quite big amount, 3,000, 4,000. I remember those days I paid when for A levels 3,000 rupees an hour. I'm talking about 2010. So it was quite expensive. When you talk about group classes, they know it's not going to work. So our challenge was to have group classes, maybe 50, 60, 70, sometimes even 100, seminars 200 for London A levels. So that market was not captured properly by most of the institutes or people, I would say. So definitely we had a vision. This should be a prominent thing in the country, and people should know. I'm not putting down any education sector down, but when it comes to London education, London O levels, A levels, it's really updated. I have done my local O levels and London A levels, so I know it's updated. But the people, they were scared. There are no good lecturers, and individual classes is quite expensive. So we are giving VFM, value for money. So you can join the group class, but it will look as if you are going for an individual class. With the amount where you're paying less.
Individual attention, basically.
Individual attention. But obviously there'll be individual. It's like this. Wherever you go, you get students, whatever you try to teach, whatever you do, they don't listen. There are enough an amount of people. They just come and, okay, my father paid money. I'm going to this class. I'm going to just, chill and wait. But we try our best even to reduce that. Where they know the value for money, and we are giving education at a very good, reasonable price, and for a mass audience. That's our target. So that's the major challenge. And when we entered the industry, we didn't have a lot of noise from the other areas. Like there were no any other businesses who were really worried. Obviously, other than that large institution, they also started it. Then some other institutes started it. I don't know, London O levels and A levels, because London O levels and A levels is the feeder for higher education. Obviously, okay. So they started it, and I don't know where they are. Okay. So currently we are in the market. I hope we are dominating. That's what I believe. But there are others as well who's doing well. So they should know the recipe of it, how to get it done. So if you get it done properly, definitely you're going to achieve it. So that's it.
Alright, Wasim. Doing a business is not easy at all. Sometimes we get big wins, but at other times we make mistakes. What have been some of the mistakes that you have learned? Have you learned lessons the hard way? Okay. And what have they taught you?
Okay. When it comes to the mistakes, what I believe is I have not made very big mistakes, but I have made mistakes. Now, when it comes to a business, it's not only the business, it's you as well. Whenever you have money, you should know where to invest, how to spend. I'm a spendthrift. That is the first mistake. I would say that is a problem that I had personally. Once you start making, you spend. You don't know whether to invest it or what you call spend. So if I have both the option, my opportunity cost would be investing. I would rather spend. So once you get money, I wanted a bike, car, jeep, house. It kept on going. But rather, if you had invested that money elsewhere, I would have definitely had good returns. But I learned my lessons. I definitely learned my lessons. So the struggles and the problems and challenges is not easy. What if I say I did individual classes 10 years ago? Individual classes, I used to go to places and I used to teach 10 years ago after I finished my A-levels, okay? And today if a student calls and says individual classes, I say hell no. So it's not that I have a big head or whatsoever, I don't know. That's what I say because I don't have the time. So challenges wise, you should know the challenges I faced and the problems I faced in the past. When I think about it, there were no lot of issues. Only the thing was the hardship where I have to go in the bus, walk around, then capture students, marketing, all those things. But again, you had to be very careful. You see, I would say, now in the past, I wanted to lecture I don't think you all know this story. I wanted to lecture to this prominent institute. The institute.
This is not X, right?
X.
This is X, okay.
X.
Okay.
And there was another institute, Y.
Oh, really?
So
things are getting really interesting, Wasim.
Okay. When I want to lecture here, so I was doing my SIMA and undergraduate. SIMA was almost done in 2011, 12, maybe 12. So I want to lecture. I went to these lecturers or the directors of this company. I applied. They never took me. They were like, no, you're not qualified. Finish your degree and come. I was like, okay, fine, done. Then I went to the Y as well. Finish your degree and come. Okay. So what happened was I was really devastated. I was really gone and I was like, what the hell? And my mom on the other hand, she was like, Wasim, good, cooperate. They call you teacher. They call you lecturer. Can't find a girl for you.
Oh.
Okay, go to cooperate. You know these traditional people, right? Go to cooperate. So the thing was, I was applying. I don't think you all know this as well. I applied Mars Holdings. I was selected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I applied for some other places, British American Tobacco. I went up to the 4th interview. Then my mom said, don't. Then some quite big, good organizations I applied. But the thing is, my mom, I was making quite enough money for my survival, but still my dad had cash, but he never gave me anything because don't get me wrong, he told I'll give you education. I'll spend. He has money. I'll spend for education. There onwards, you earn your money. So that is a lesson where most of the people today, they don't get it. So one thing your parents, they have to spend is on your education. So that is the main thing. After there onwards, it's up to you. So what happened was after 5 or 6 years, I would say, this same X and Y, they came to me and they were like, can you please join our institute? And one, of course, I joined and they were like, take more lessons. I said, no. Then another institute, they came and they're like, please, can you join? I said, no, not that I don't want to disrespect them. But the thing is, in this particular industry, you should know the talents of the people is not education alone. It's the way they talk, the way they present. I know so many lecturers, they don't have qualifications, but when it comes to teaching, they are good. So that's how the industry works and the challenges. So our challenge right now is to find out the proper lecturers rather than looking into their academic qualification, whether they can teach. Obviously, you need academic qualification, but the thing is, you should identify whether they can teach or not. So that is one of the major challenges we are looking into today in the modern world.
You were talking about traditional thinking. Wasim, you and I are from the same batch. Back in our day, when we were schooling, although this is an old-fashioned way of thinking, most of the students still wanted to become doctors, engineers, accountants, coming out of school. Has that changed now? It's been a couple of years since we left school. Has it changed? What are the new fields that students are pursuing straight out of school?
Okay, fine. Now see, wherever you go, any household, mother, father, what do they say is, Puthe or doctor kenek wenna one. Okay? Puthe or doctor kenek wenna one. Duwa oyavilla what engineer kenek wenna one. These are the normal things. So in Tamil, ninga doctor ravanum, engineer ravanum, whatever the things. So they use that voice as well. Puthe or doctor kenek wenna one. Definitely, that's what they do. An engineer, I don't know, so and so. The thing is, it's like this. Definitely, being a doctor, engineer, etc., you can make money. But today the trend has actually changed. I have so much of students. They are not doctors, they are not engineers, but they are doing way better. They have started their own business. They have joined. They have complete different concepts where others didn't have. Blue ocean strategy. So today the things have changed, but the parents have not still changed. That's the biggest problem. Parents should know what they're good at, and then they have to allow them to select whatever they select. Now, example, in my case, I told you my mom, go to corporate. You got a good offer. A white collar job, wear a tie, go in the morning, come in the evening, sleep, go, come, eat, exact same thing. But today things have completely changed. But not everywhere. I would say Colombo definitely yes. There are photographers, there are people who starting their own business. Then, I don't know, I recently had one of my students, he wanted to import proteins and sell, the supplements and all this.
Yeah.
And he's trying to compete with one of the biggest importer in Sri Lanka. He came and he asked me, so shall I do this? I'm educated. I told, look, end of the day, you need education, you need money. Obviously. Now, if you want to be a doctor, you study. And if you don't get famous, you can't earn money. Being honest, that's one of the major things. So today in the modern world, things have changed. And it's changing. And I hope it will change in the future as well for good. So that's how it has been happening in the present modern business environment. So that's the traditional and the modern way how people and the parents look into it.
So speaking further on trends that are happening in the education industry, do you see international universities having a more prominent role, or rather a prominent presence in Sri Lanka, coming maybe establish their universities here and making Sri Lanka an educational hub for the region, which is South Asia?
Okay. Sri Lanka being an educational hub for foreign universities. I'm so sure all of you all know whenever they bring a university, the local colleges or local, all these universities, they make a ha-ho, free education, they buy education. So currently, I don't see much universities entering Sri Lanka, and I don't think very few have entered, if they have entered so, okay. So the institutions have taken their degrees and they are teaching here. So if you look into education hub, I would say Malaysia, one of the best country, I would say, in terms of education. So I don't think you all even know this. Platinum Business Academy, we have our sub-venture Platinum Study Abroad. So last year, December, we just escaped. Before COVID, we were in Malaysia and we missed our flight and we celebrated 31st and 1st in Malaysian airport. Okay. So when we went to Malaysia, most of the UK, US, or Indian universities, Manipal, I'm sure you all know that university.
Yeah.
They are located in Malaysia. Cost of living is good. Price is almost 1/4 what you spend in Australia, UK. So when it comes to an education hub, I would say Malaysia is a country that they know they're capturing the crowd around the world. There are even people who go from Dubai to Malaysia, UK to Malaysia. So I'll give you an example. If you are doing a Monash degree, in Australia it would cost you, we'll say example, 12 million. Malaysia it's only 6 million, half. So I would say Malaysia in that aspect, they are doing way better compared to our country in the South Asian region.
Yes.
So Sri Lanka, I hope in the future they will do, but with the conflicts with the local universities and political instability and how things go around here, it's quite difficult for them to start up. I would say the regulations the red tapes are very high, so they can't start up. So that's the reason I would say Sri Lanka still on process, but we hope for the best that they will do well in the future.
So let's speak a bit further on that, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about both Malaysia and Australia.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Australian economy, for example, education is one of the biggest industries for them, which brings the highest amount of revenue for the country. So what can Sri Lanka do? Now you did mention about some of the challenges we have, but what can the authorities do in order to change this and make Sri Lanka a regional hub? And the reason why I'm saying that is because we are such talented educators in this country.
Definitely.
So we need, and some of them are actually going abroad and being attached to these foreign universities. However, we should try our best to retain the students here. And in fact, try to get Indian students, Maldivian students, and the likes coming to Sri Lanka. So what can we do here?
Okay, the first thing is the country is run by the government. So definitely the government should ensure there's less regulations and there's no corruption when universities want to enter. Any multinationals that come to Sri Lanka, definitely, I'm so sure these are not legit information. They have to go through so much of,
Red
process
tapes.
and red tapes in order to, what you call, start up here. So in terms of education, once they start up, again, they'll have a lot of people go against them, especially the local university students. All due respect, but this happens, It's a democratic country, so I believe I can tell what I want
Yes,
to
you
tell.
can.
So I'm not talking against anyone. So the thing is, you should be very, you should be very open-minded. That's the most important thing. Just because a foreign university comes here, you should allow them to come first thing. And you should give them free land, I would say. Definitely should be fine. I'm sure Sri Lanka has enough free land. Obviously, there'll be deforestation. You can't get one thing without giving up another. There's an opportunity cost, definitely. So they can definitely, most of these areas where it is underutilized, I would say, now this is my personal opinion, rather than making highways, our country is a small country. Okay, it's a very small country. I would say that money, if it's spent on education to bring down universities, definitely it would add more value compared to the existing whatever they're spending on. So I believe that would be one of the best thing that they could do in Sri Lanka. So end of the day, you have to go around here and there, and you should see the political stability. Once the politics, once it's, I'm not going to say they are good, and these people are good, and the existing government, previous government. End of the day, it's your think very open, and you should make sure you allow them to enter the country. And if you want to know, see example, if you go to Dubai University, Australian University, you find a lot of Sri Lankan lecturers teaching there.
Yes.
And if you ask my students who wants to study abroad, maybe 3 or 4 they'll be like this. Amma mata anda baya kiwa. That's it. They have some reasons. All others, they raise their hands up. Because living standard is good there. Cost of living is low. They make good money. So obviously, to let them come here, government has to subsidize or provide big grants. So in that case, definitely Sri Lanka will do well in terms of foreign universities. But it will take time, definitely.
For sure.
So that's how it works.
So Wasim, we were speaking about macros, and since you have a background in economics, finance and marketing, you are the perfect person to speak about this. So right now we are in the middle of the second wave of the pandemic. The economy is being hit really hard, right? And we all know that the implications for the economy is severe. But what needs to be done by businessmen and the government authorities as well as the general public to get the economy back in its feet once the pandemic is over?
Okay. I would say it's not a pandemic local, it's a global pandemic.
Yes.
The whole world is affected, and every time you see they come up with a vaccine, but it never happens. It takes time. It has almost 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. So the thing is, now see, when it comes to Sri Lanka, one of the biggest problem, most of our people, what's happening is they're not spending, they're scared, they're saving, they're not investing. Again, they're scared whether the business will go good or bad. But you all should understand, when you save money, when you keep it inside your safe, okay, it is something known as liquidity trap. Money is trapped. So you're not spending, so the money is not circulating in the economy. So it's like this, you give me 100 rupees, I give it to someone else, that guy gives to someone else, so the money multiplies. Currently, we are facing a situation known as paradox of thrift, where one person's saving is another person's income. So they're not spending currently. So this spending habit should change in the country. They should start spending. That is the first thing. And second thing, of course, I would say definitely the government has reduced the interest rates. That's a very good thing what they have done.
It's at 7% now.
7%,
Yeah.
so that's a quite good thing what they have done. But government spending, again, they have to spend in areas where you're supposed to spend. Now, if you ask me a question, obviously imports is a leakage in the circular flow. Money is going out.
Yeah.
There's an embargo in the imports of vehicles. You can't import because that's obviously not to improve the balance of payment, rather to, I would say, to make the dollar strong. It went at 190, 95, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. Right now it's at 185 and 86. So the thing is, now when you don't allow to import, this is a bit of a controversial topic, I'll just anyways tell. Now when it comes to PETA, okay, PETA guys, you see, you call it a Chinese market. You go there, whatever you find, everything is Chinese products. When you stop importing, when you put an embargo to import these things, when you don't allow them to import, definitely there'll be unemployment. They don't have their products they can't make their products, no raw materials. So this will definitely affect the economy. So you should know, the government should know exactly what products not to let them to import and what products to let them import. Now for an instance, turmeric, kaha. I'm sure most of your houses these days, not now, maybe 2-3 months back, there was an issue because there was a shortage.
Yes.
So that shortage would increase the price, inflation.
Yes.
So whenever a decision is taken, government policy is taken, they should ensure in such a way where it doesn't affect the economy. They should not indirectly or negatively affect the macroeconomic objectives. So right now, definitely it will take time for the economy to grow. The growth was like this, but now it has slanted down. And it's going at a lower rate. Tourism is gone.
Yeah.
Tourism is completely gone. But still, again, but the government is trying to do the best. I have seen now, these few days, you can go to hotels. They all loved with all precautions. But the thing is, people are scared to go. But I wouldn't say they are scared. If you go to any of the hotels, it's crowded, quite crowded. There's a decent crowd. So government should take decisions and they should use their policies in such a way where it will definitely benefit the economy, and they should also consider both low income and high income earners. Now recently they gave 5,000 rupees, if I'm not mistaken, for each and every family. Yeah, the family wants it. But the thing is, they have the money. But that 5,000, once they spend, they can't spend on like a lot of things, very few things, because the prices are quite high. So right now there's inflationary pressure. That's tech inflation. Now, when we were doing classes, we wanted to buy webcams. Dude, they were saying 35,000, 30,000 just for a normal webcam. We were like, what the hell? Rather you buy a phone and use the phone. So they should allow, after that they have allowed the imports of laptops and webcams and etc. Technological related products. So whatever the decisions you take, this is a very broad topic. I'm doing it very, if I can keep on going, okay. So fiscal policy, monetary, supply side, everything, micro, macro. So the government should ensure to use policies in such a way where it will benefit the rich as well as poor. Because rich has the money, they're not spending. You go to a car sale, they have bought the car. Even if it's 2-3 million expensive, they still buy. But the poor is still suffering. So you should encourage the poor also to spend. And you should change the way how work is done. Work from home. Definitely, then you give them salary, they can spend. Not tell them, no, you're sacked, I'm not going to use you again. But obviously from company's perspective, they will have to sack in order to cut down their cost because profits are low. But it should be handled in a very tactical, technical, I don't know what word to use, in a very, you have to think broad and handle.
And sustainable also.
Sustainable way. Being honest, I would say our president, he's doing a very good job. What I see from my perspective, because the highway project is going on. That's good. In one aspect, it's good. I know you all will want to say, what the hell, you told a while ago, they should spend on education. But even if you spend on the highway, still it's employment. But again, the controversial topic there is you should use Sri Lankan workers, not Chinese workers. So the money should circulate within the country. Money should not go outside the country. But again, you have to at times import in order to ensure that money circulates and it creates employment and economic growth. Yes, money is going out. But end of the day, you need those products here in order, because we are not a self-sustained country. We used to be maybe 200, 300 years ago, but not now. So those changes should happen within the country.
So Wasim, I agree with a lot of things that you're saying, right? But there is another school of thought as well. Now, you were talking about how imports having, the ban and as well as restrictions is causing a lot of hardships to a certain segment of the society, right? But although there is a short-term hardship, if you look at Sri Mavo's time, we had a closed economy. Until JR came in 1977, we had a closed economy. And some people might say that although people were still purchasing things at a ration basis, we could have been on the road towards a self-sustainable economy at least over the next couple of years. But then the government changed and the policies changed. But do you think maybe this sort of a situation could be a boon without us even realizing it, where we start becoming self-sufficient? This sort of a situation could happen in another 5 years as well. So then maybe this is an opportunity for us to start creating our own sectors, where we use our own raw materials and creating our own factories. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Now see,
easier said than done.
I get it.
But then what can we do there?
It's not the right time.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Right now, our country is almost into a recession. We have growth,
for sure.
All those are unofficial rates, and official and unofficial keeps on going. When there's a recession in the country, people are scared to invest. They are scared to spend, consume. So how do you expect people to start their business and start up local firms unless the government starts it? Recently, they started a tire factory, and that's also Chinese. You go online type tire factory, you'll find a Chinese girl there with a tire, not even Sri Lankan. So it's not the right time now.
That makes sense.
And definitely when you make it locally, okay, there's something called comparative advantage. Most of these countries in the world, they produce at a lower opportunity cost compared to us. You try the strawberries in Norelia, and from abroad if you import, definitely that's better at a lower price. Any products. Some companies have failed in Sri Lanka. I don't know whether you've heard of a company called Sigra. I don't know whether you've heard about it.
I think I've heard of it, yeah.
It was part of the strategic business unit of Selinco.
Okay.
They had 3-wheelers, they had motorbikes, and they had a car with 3 wheels. Do you remember? You would have seen very rarely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A car with 3 wheels, okay.
So that particular company, I'm sure you all know Shihan Mihiranga, that citizen superstar. He was only promoting that bike.
Oh, really?
That time.
What happened to him, man? Okay, let's talk about it in another episode, please. I would love to talk about him after this episode's over.
So basically what happened was they couldn't compete. Bajaj, if you say 3-wheeler, Bajaj, Tuk-Tuk, Bajaj, Piaggio, TVS, they couldn't compete, they shut down. Just not more than even 1 year, they shut down. So first thing is quality. Second thing is cost. And again, you would say this product is made in Sri Lanka. We made this shirt in Sri Lanka. Just ask them this question. Where's the material from? Where's the thread from? Where's the button from? Where's the machine you make that from? Everything is imported. Today in the modern world, being a closed economy is not a practical thing. Being self-sufficient is not a practical thing. And right now, yes, Sri Lanka, we can be a self-sufficient country. But I would say we can, but we are not going to have a good living standard. I'm so sure if I ask you, would you prefer a Sri Lankan shoe or a Nike shoe or Adidas to play basketball? Would you enjoy wearing I don't want to mention these names.
I get your point, Wasim, but just for the record, I would prefer Sri Lankan shoes.
Okay, he's saying he prefers Sri Lankan shoes, but have you got any Sri Lankan shoes?
I would rather not answer that question. Moving on, Wasim.
That is the point. You all got that point, right?
Yes.
So basically, okay, even if they make, there was a company who made Zing. I don't know whether you remember.
Yeah, Zing.
Zing,
yeah.
where's it? There's so many companies. You have to start up. Once you start up again, to start up you have to go through political things, cash, finance, etc, etc, etc. So it's not the right time now. Even if you start up, they will close down in 2 or 3 months. Unless it's a blue ocean strategy. Example, Zoom. They started, they are doing well. But again, if our people in our country, if you want to start something like that. It's not going to require a lot of people. So the thing is, it's very difficult. Like you can say we can be self-sufficient, but it's not going to be easy. You are thinking in a very, very broad aspect. We are highly dependent on imports. I'm sure from this whatever we are doing here, whatever we are wearing, drinking, eating, definitely we are highly dependent. Even flour is imported at times. So basically, we can say we'll be any government, they come, they'll be like, oh, ape chanathavata, api avilla, ape badu gannoni, blah, blah, blah. They keep on going. Yeah, our people also, hooray, hooray, they'll shout and they'll do everything. But it's not practical.
At least in the short term.
At least in the short term. So, you should know when to implement, what strategy to implement. So, it's not the right time to implement that strategy now.
Right. Especially in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, no, if you say imports of cars, totally fine. Don't import. We have enough cars. I would say that we have enough cars. Okay, yeah, there's controversy going on saying we don't have enough cars, cars don't have cars and blah, 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 etc. But the thing is, we have, if everyone starts buying a new car, who's going to use old ones? Again, we are going to have excess supply. The thing here is, everything is artificially priced. Cars are artificially priced. Houses are artificially priced. Right now, we don't have enough supply. So in such a situation, you have to import. I'm not talking about cars, everything else. So the decision, whatever you take, you should know when to take. But definitely, example in our industry, of course, this pandemic, we actually went global. We have students from UK, Dubai, Saudi, Vietnam, most of the countries. Not Vietnam, Kuwait. There are so many countries. So some people benefited, some people. Now online shops who's selling online, they have benefited a lot. So the thing is, yeah, you can encourage them to produce things locally, but see what is the correct time. Now is not the correct time. No one is going to spend.
That makes sense, Wasim.
So you're providing the supply, also create the demand.
Makes sense.
No use only what you call generating the supply. I hope you got that point.
I get it. I perfectly understand. So let's speak a bit more about the economy. And I recently got read in the news that the central bank has printed more money, which is going to again result in more inflation. You were talking about how high import prices is also again going to result in more inflation. What are some of the other implications of the central bank printing more money, and what needs to be done here from a policy standpoint?
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this year, sorry, it's not yet new year. They have printed approximately 160 or 65 billion rupees. So that's a big amount compared to 2018. Okay. Now, when you print money, the value of money goes down. That's inflation, obviously. Now, when they print money, the money is printed, and that is used for government spending. At the same time, they are charging taxes as well. So that will lead to a problem called crowding out effect, where the government spends. Now, if I ask you a question, who's efficient, government or private sector?
Private sector.
Definitely private sector. So government money, whatever they print, they are spending. So rather they should have used other policies like quantitative easing, where they increase the money supply without printing, rather releasing the money to the private sector. So they are trying to do, but it's not happening as such. So definitely once you start printing money, number one, our dollar will depreciate. Dollar will definitely depreciate. And again, once it depreciates, import is going to be expensive.
And it becomes a cyclical process.
So it's going to be a wage rise spiral. The price is going to increase non-stop.
Yes.
If I say this, I remember the lowest price buying bread was 12 rupees or 10 rupees. I can't remember. Now it is 60 rupees.
5 rupees back in the day.
5 rupees.
I'm not that old, by the way.
So example, you get it, right?
Yeah.
Petrol was 45 bucks.
Yeah.
Now it's 160. So thing is, you don't feel it, but by time price increases. $1 used to be 8 rupees.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Now it's 185 rupees. It went up to 199 if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the statistics as such. So basically, printing money right now, you print money, but it has to be generated through the private sector. Because when you generate through the public sector or the government, now obviously they will use for the projects, whatever they are doing. Oh, how are they going to distribute the money? Definitely they're going to do that. Then once they print money, if they have destroyed the old money, it's a different story. I don't know whether you remember, there was a 200 rupee note.
Yeah.
So those things are destroyed. Then the 2000 rupee note is not used a lot.
Yeah.
So once you print money, if the output also increases, that's totally fine. But the output is not increasing. Again, I'm going to the previous topic.
Understood.
You're increasing the demand. You're trying to increase, but demand is not increasing. The money is left and supply is stagnant. Supply is not increasing. No one is investing in anything right now. They're scared. They're scared to take risk. Now the banks are giving interest at a very low rate, but people are not borrowing. Maybe yes, some people borrow, and maybe I don't know whether they pay or not. But the thing
it depends on the industry they are investing in also.
Exactly. So the thing is, printing money right now, I would say, I'm sure there are more educated people in the parliament compared to me. So definitely, I would say they would have taken a proper decision. So in my perspective, my personal perspective, it's not a good thing right now. So it's a very broad thing again. It's connected. If I go on till non-stop, I can connect everything. So it's not a correct thing to do right now. That's what I would say. Rather, they can use something else. That's my opinion.
All right, Wasim, so you were talking about how authorities should react to the current situation. But specifically talking about the educational industry, what should authorities do in order to improve the learning standards of students and also improve the educational infrastructure in the country?
Okay. So first thing I would say, that's free education. You finish your A-levels, local A-levels, you get to go to uni. After that, there's ragging. I'm sure this is a very, very common thing that happens in local universities where no actions are taken. I hope you remember there was a guy who died because of they threw a tie or something. Not died, he's still there.
Yeah.
My bad. He was in the hospital, ICU, and he was affected properly. Very badly.
And that's not the first incident.
That's not the first incident. Exactly. We get to know very few incidents.
For sure.
So once they know it is free, they misuse it. And I can't believe, because I know the smarter people in my batch, once they go to this place, I don't know how do they change. So I'm sure there's something wrong in the education system there, in the local universities. Maybe, I don't know, there's something wrong there. If not, this won't happen. I highly doubt these things happen in foreign universities. I'm not talking about the Asian universities, I'm talking about the European universities. There's nothing called ragging. They just have fun. They just chill. They study. So the mentality of the people should be changed. So to change that mentality again, the government should take actions. They should intervene. They should have, obviously they have educated lecturers, but more than education, they should have lecturers who can pitch things, explain the students. Even one of these ragging thing happened, I remember watching the news. I don't comment a lot on that, the guys who came there. First thing, discipline. A lecturer can change a student's life. I had a student, I don't want to mention the name, that guy used to get 30 swatties. I just spoke to him one day, he came to me. So I want to get a prize. He came to me. O-levels he got an A. Okay, from 30s, he got 87. A-levels he told he wanted to win a prize. And apparently got 92, he didn't win a prize. But from 30s, from a worst student, now he's a smart student. So end of the day, the lecturers can make a difference within their students' life. Number two, the system. No, I don't comment a lot on this because it'll be too controversial. I remember studying about these kings for O-levels, Dhatu Sena, Walagamba, etc., etc., etc. And I, in our batch only, they started English medium first. I went to a government school after a long time. So it's like this. English is a language. You should know Singlish, definitely true. But you should make it more common because wherever in the world you go, you need English. That's my personal opinion. Yes, you should know Sinhala. I'm good at Sinhalese, guys. I'm definitely good. I still remember the whole day. Kacharatapa, Yaralaba, Nyananama. I remember everything. But the thing is, you should change the system completely. You should bring leave. Okay, you should know the history, but you should know world affairs. What's happening? Then how the economy has changed. World economic things. Like so many things has to be changed. So it has to start from the bottom. First thing, change the attitude of the people. That can be the lecturers, the government who's handling that, then the students. They should not feel, okay, we are the best. Everyone is same. Everyone is end of the day same. And if these things change, definitely our country in terms of education, they'll do well. So I believe that has to happen.
Because Sri Lankans are one of the smartest out there.
I would say
our guys are everywhere performing well, but a lot has to change within the country itself to make the most out of it.
Now, example, if you want me to tell, I have a student. She got she got the admission for NUS. So that's one of the best university. One of the students got for Cambridge, another good university. So the thing is, I asked him, what do I plan to do? Sir, I'll leave. I'll never come back. Then I have one of my senior in my school. He's working for Microsoft. So there are people. But the thing is, we are not using them. They don't want to stay here. Here, end of the day, you don't get paid well. Number one. They don't know. Example, when I was applying for my management trainee position, okay, that's a job where you get reasonably paid. Okay, I think around 12,000 people applied. 12,000, I still remember. From that, I remember next to me there was a girl in the not an interview. They had like a session, teamwork session or whatsoever. Okay, she was the second. I hope she doesn't watch this. I don't think she'll know my name or anything. So she was the second in California University. But they came in that particular place, they were like, stitch a yoga bra. Okay? So she started like, when they say bra, she was like, mata beha, mata karanda beha, make her, like, you understand what I'm trying to say? That's a wrong attitude. That's because in that university, there's a problem with the culture. She has to be, okay, I'm fine. It's just an undergarment. I'm ready to stitch it. So
that's also the conservative background that they're coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not only that background, even the university.
Yes.
So if you go abroad, okay, today in the modern world, they don't give a shit about it. I'm not saying be too open, but in that situation, you're going to work for Mars. Example, this company, they are going to stitch lingeries. So you definitely have to stitch it. She was rejected immediately.
So basically what you're saying is you need to have an open mind and be flexible and adapt to changes.
Adapt to changes, plus you have to change your personality depending on the place. So I would say this local universities, local schools, most of the things should change, I believe. But they're doing good. I'm not saying they're bad, but it has to change after a certain time. These are not all the universities. Huh?
Yeah.
I asked one of my friends who studied in Moroto University. He's like, all this is crap. Nothing like this happens in our uni. Drag is like, you have to go and touch that girl as I come, like very small. So it depends on the universities. So maybe if there are 10 universities, maybe it happens in 9. So it has to be reduced. And this culture is also getting into the, colleges. I mean, where you have the London degrees. Because they are also, when you get the juniors, they start doing all these things. So it's the thing where you have to stop that right now.
Understood.
If not, our country is definitely going to be not 20 years, 50, 60, 70, 80 years behind the world. So it has to happen.
Wasim, you are one of the most successful lecturers we have in this country. You have produced many Sri Lankan and world prize winners. From a non-technical standpoint, what is the advice you give these students to become champions who can conquer the world?
Okay. I would say work smart, think smart in order to achieve success. So that's how I normally tell the students. But it's not easy as you say. No, there's a hard way, like you can get things done in a very difficult way or the smarter way. So whenever you take a decision, be smart. Exactly, you have to think smart. Not hard, not you get things done really hard, you're not going to benefit at the end of the day. First of all, example, we'll say, now I have seen so many people, one of my friend, he should have done, maybe done X and made some money. But he's doing Y, thinking he can make money. Maybe he'll make money, but again it takes quite a long time. So be focused and keep yourself occupied. Now in my case, while doing A-levels, I did SIMA. After A-levels, I was doing a degree, SIMA, and I was also lecturing. People were like, what the hell, Wasim is lecturing. I thought I'm good at it, I just went ahead with that. So don't be careful. Don't take other people's words too much, don't take too much into your head. You be very free, you think, okay, I can do this, I'll do this. And definitely, whatever success you want to achieve, you have to respect your parents, definitely. And you have to listen to them at times. Maybe your mom will, but I also didn't listen. My mom wanted to go for me for the corporate, but I wanted about that. But again, listen, get the ideas. So when you do that, definitely have your target, that, this, blah. And again, I would say your target always, just because you have a target, you don't have to go to that target. You might take a U-turn. Or you might just skip the, go to another lane. So, for instance, I wanted to be a chartered financial analyst, accounts. But today I hate accounts. Because I knew I'm better in something else. So just because you want to be a doctor, you might not be good at being a doctor. You want to be an engineer, you might not be good at being an engineer. Maybe you finish your education, you build a building that will fall next day. So you should definitely know, like it changes, by time it changes. You focus towards one thing, another opportunity you find out you're good at that. So you should be able to make money and you should love what you're doing. Yeah, there are people, I know there's enough amount of lectures. I don't teach for money. I do this as a service. I would say I have to teach for money, if not I can't survive. So these are some of the things you should see your opportunities, and even if you're going towards one focused line, I want to be this, if you can't achieve that, definitely swap. You get what I'm trying to say, right?
Sure.
So if you don't do that, definitely you're not going to achieve in life. So again, I'm saying, think smart. Maybe you leave that point, someone else will be like, Ade Machan, why did you leave this? You should have done it.
Makes sense.
Leave aside. I'm good at this, I'm doing this.
So what you're saying is not to be rigid with a plan, but rather be flexible and on your toes so that you are able to maneuver as and when the opportunity
and also to add to that, you might not be good at one, you might be good at several things. Diversify, no problem. Most of you all know me as a lecturer, but I do other things as well. So example, you can look into other things as well, but keep it. The thing is, look into all the options. But again, don't get me wrong, don't go and make look into everything. You won't be good at anything after that. So few things and be focused. And again, I would say think smart and work smart in order to achieve success. Those two are very important in your life. So that's the main thing.
Alright Wasim, on a final note, Wasim Imthiasz, the personal brand, Platinum Business Academy, your lecturing career, 2025, what can we expect?
So right now, if you all want me to say in 25, actually it would be a surprise. I don't want to exactly say what we're going to do, but we want to diversify to other areas as well. Okay, so currently we are doing London Olers and A-levels, we have study abroad, and we have few other options, but I don't want to release it right now. It will definitely be a surprise for most of the people. Then definitely in 5 years I'll again come here and tell you this
sure.
we planned, and I'll definitely tell this information. But obviously we'll be doing what we're good at, and we have other options as well.
From a personal level, what could we expect?
Personal level, I just wanted two things in my life once I became a lecturer. I wanted the opportunity to teach in the two best schools in Sri Lanka, which had the best, the Cambridge and edXL curriculum. So I thought at Lyceum, I believe that's one of the best schools where I did my A-levels as well. I got off at another school, I don't want to mention the name, where they teach edXL, okay, till that is not a big deal, CIS, okay. But the thing is, there was a problem there. They wanted me to be just a part of only that school, and I can't do anything else. So I didn't take the option. So I believe in that aspect I have achieved. So now I want to just go with the flow. Next 5 years, chill, and whatever happens, let it happen. But I don't want to make any wrong decisions what I made in the past, which I believe I made very less wrong decisions. But still, just go ahead. So that's my personal, where I want to be in another 5 years.
Thank you, Wasim. That was truly an inspiring episode. And you continue to inspire many students and help create the future leaders of this country. So stay awesome, Wasim. All the very best for with all your future endeavors. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Entrepreneur podcast. This is episode number 6, actually. We'll be catching you again soon. Do stay tuned and subscribe to all our channels and follow us, as there's more exciting stuff coming your way. Take care. Bye-bye.